And that is the B major scale song. It is definitely not for beginners. This is sort of more an intermediate to advanced scale song. I actually had a request to make this video, so that's why I've kind of slotted this one in earlier on than I was initially intending to, but that's okay. I'm more than happy to do that for you guys. So I'm just going to walk you through the piece. If you would like to pick up the sheet music, you can grab it from my website, thetechyflautist.com. Usually with scales, I encourage everyone to memorize them, and if you're doing exams, you have to do them from memory as well. However, I've played with the articulation, so like each repetition of the scale, the articulation changes, and that can be really hard to remember. So for that reason, you might want to grab the music, but if you are just going to focus on notes for now, then that's totally fine. You should do it by memory. So let's dive into it. B major has 5 sharps. Have fun, guys. This song is broken down into 3 sections. So the A section, or the first section, is based off our B major 5-note pattern. So it's pretty much just half the scale. Your notes are going to be B, C sharp, D sharp, E, F sharp, and then back down. The first time you hear that, I'm playing it all tongued, and then straight after I play it down low, you get a beats rest, and then you do the exact same thing up high. So it'll sound roughly like this. Then we again get a beats rest. You'll notice the pattern. It's always like play, beat rest, play, beat rest, play, and on it goes. So our next repetition, I've done all slurred. And again up high. Then the repetition after that, I've done slurred in pairs. So dia, 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 da. And then up high. Then after that one, I've done, so you slur it, then you get 2 tongues, then you slur it, then you get 2 tongues. So dia, da, da, dia, da, da, da. And again up high. Then after this, we mix it up a bit. We take out the rests, so you're going to get 2 repetitions in a row, 2 down low, and then straight away 2 up high. And then after that, you get 2 more of the full scale, and not the full scale, but the full pattern. And after that, you don't resolve on a B. I've been a little bit sneaky, and you resolve on a sharp. And that's just to kind of, sounds a bit more musical. It's like, oh, it's not the end, there's something more coming. And the first articulation pattern is 1 slurred 3 tongued, so da da ya ya da da ya ya da. But you do twice in a row, and then you do the exact same thing up high, and then again you get the pattern times 2, but this time all slurred. So it'll make more sense when I play it. This is what you're gonna get. So very like, ooh, what's happening next? So that leads into part 2, which is our second 5-note pattern, except I have chopped off the C sharp because top range of the flute students, generally speaking, don't play up that high. You won't need to play up that high for several more years if you're in 6th grade. So I'm like, I'll just make it easy, chop off the C sharp, we'll turn around on the B. So our notes in this one, you get F sharp, G sharp, A sharp, B, and then you go back down. So that follows the same pattern with the articulation. We start off with all tongued. And again, up high. Then all slurred. Then we get slurred in pairs. Then we get slurred 2-tongued, slurred 2-tongued. And then, same thing we had last time where we start to get multiple in a row. So you get 2 in a row of 1-tongued, 3 slurred. Then straight after that, you get that exact same thing again, but up high. And then after that, you get the full pattern that we've been working on twice, all slurred. So that will be like this. I think I accidentally did 1 extra repetition in there, and that was because I was thinking about the fact that I forgot to tell you guys I added an extra note. So you're playing your normal pattern, F sharp, G sharp, A sharp, B, you're coming down, A sharp, G sharp, F sharp, and then because it's only 3 notes, I needed 4 to make it fit, so we go to that E. And congratulations, you've made it up to the 3rd part of the piece. Here we get the full scale, so it's a lot more straightforward. We start on a low B all the way up to our top B and then back down. At the end, to make it sound more musical, I've put like a little dip in. So at the end, you go B, A sharp, B, like. And the first time you do it all tongued. Then you get a whole almost 2 bars of rest, which is very nice. Make sure you take a big breath. Then you get all slurred. Nearly forgot my little dip at the end. Then you get 2 bars rest. Then you're going to do the exact same thing again. I haven't gone through all the articulation patterns in this version because it was going to make the piece really, really long. And if you want to do that, you can kind of just repeat it and add them in yourself. So I'm just doing all slurred again, and we go up, we go down, we do our little turn, but instead of pausing, we just go straight up again and straight back down. Take a little sneaky breath before the last bar, and the last bar you just hold a B and add a little diminuendo to make it sound like the end of the piece. So our ending will hopefully sound like this. Try and do it all in one breath. Having said that, I'm having a bit of an off day today. So I might take a sneaky breath. If you need to take a sneaky breath, you can take it. Total off track. One good thing I like to do with students is I'll get them to play a phrase like this, and we'll put a little mark where they took their first sneaky breath. And then I'll be like, okay, go home and practice that. And when you practice it, see if you can always push yourself one little bit further. And then the next week in the lesson, we move the mark. And then eventually over time, we hit the whole phrase, which is kind of a really cool process if you're struggling with breathing. Anyway, total distraction, but hopefully it's helpful. So, this is the ending of our B major scale song. Excellent, that is the whole song. You now have two options. Like most of our listen, learn, play videos, you can jump back to the start, have a go playing along, or you can keep listening and you'll get just the backing track. So again, you can sort of play along with just the backing track. One thing to note when you're practicing scales, it's really good to make them musical. So your first focus is obviously going to be the notes, but a scale is so much more than the notes. Once you've got the notes under your fingers, you might start thinking about the quality of your sound and can you match the tone that you're producing in the low register with the high register. Then another practice session, you might put a tuner on and you might start focusing on intonation, because I can guarantee you from especially the F sharp, it's going to be crazy sharp. And talk to your teacher, but there are all these things you can do to help to kind of drop your pitch and counteract the natural flute sharpness. Another thing is if you're working on a piece that has a particular articulation pattern in it, you can take that articulation pattern and put it over the top of your scales and use it as like a warm-up. So you're already half practicing the piece while warming up your fingers, which is kind of cool. And then if you wanted, you could even put the articulation pattern over a scale that is used in the piece of music, because everything before the 20th century was, everything before the 1900s was based off major or minor scales. Everything after that, sometimes it is, sometimes it isn't. It depends on the composer. But a lot of our pieces are based off scales. So if you're looking at a piece of music and it's got all these runs in it, just find out what key it's in and learn the scales of the key and add the articulation pattern on top of it, and then by practicing that you'll actually learn the piece twice as fast, which is always good. There was one other thing I thought you could practice with your scales and I've sort of it's gone, so it kind of being that important. It might have been breath control or something, but I'm not sure. Anyway, that is the B major scale song. I hope you've enjoyed it. If you have any comments or questions, leave them down below. If you're working on a particular scale that I haven't done yet, just leave a comment and I will eventually get to it. I might take a few weeks, but I do get there. And enjoy. So, happy practicing and I will see you in the next video.